Hey Mood Bubblers, welcome back to our channel. My name's Kendall and on today's video we're going to be asking the big question, will I pass my credit checks? So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So there are so many perks to being a renter, but there's nothing more disappointing than when you find your dream home, you put in an offer, the offer gets accepted, and then your credit checks don't come through. So in this video, we're going to break it down for you so that you are better prepared when it comes to checks and references, and then you'll be one step closer to securing your dream home. So what are credit checks and referencing? Well, in order to rent a home, you have to go through a number of different processes to see if you are an eligible renter. So in order to pass referencing checks, your combined household income will need to be 30 times that of the monthly rent, which is the standard for renting in the UK. So these determine the eligibility for renting a property. The information, usually carried out by a referencing agency, will present the landlord with information on your credit history and current circumstances. For renter referencing, you will need to provide the following: address history, proof of employment, 3 months worth of bank statements, reference letters from previous landlords or employers, tax returns of self-employed, letters from accountants of self-employed, and a guarantor if required. The referencing company will also do a credit check. Now, the credit check looks at your financial behavior by examining your credit report. However, it doesn't tell whoever's checking how much money you actually earn. Credit checks include your debt credit ratio, if you've missed any payments, if you've had any county court judgments, public records, and how long you've lived at previous addresses. Your credit report then produces a score that shows how creditworthy you are. And the higher the score, the less of a risk you are to the landlord. So the higher the score means you're more likely to pass your checks. So how does one actually prepare for credit checks and referencing? We're going to break that down further to help you better understand what you can do to pass those checks. So make sure that you get everything together. How do you do this? By being as prepared as you possibly can with all the information that is required of you. So what you're definitely going to need when you first start out is 3 months worth of bank statements and previous living history and employment. If you're self-employed, you're going to need to provide a tax return, proof of income, and a reference letter from your accountant. One thing to note is that reference letters are absolutely vital because they provide character assessments. So whether you're going to get one from a previous employer, landlord, or accountant, just make sure that you let them know in advance so that they can prepare and write up the best possible letter for you so that the process is a lot smoother and you're one step closer to securing your dream home. So another way to prepare for credit checks and referencing is to do the maths. So as we mentioned earlier, a combined household income will need to be 30 times that of the monthly rent in order to pass all referencing and credit checks. So whether you are moving in on your own or moving in with a bunch of friends, you need to work out that everyone can afford the rent and that you can prove your income. So how else can one prepare for referencing and credit checks if perhaps you're not eligible? Well, don't worry, all is not lost. There is something called a guarantor. Now, a guarantor provides security for the renter who has not been eligible and has not passed their credit checks or referencing. So guarantors need to go through the referencing process just like anyone else. However, they do not need to provide references from previous landlords. They also need to earn up to 3 times the annual rent and will be responsible for paying the rent if you are unable to. They also need to pay for any damages that occur whilst in the property. So the process of referencing and getting your credit checks doesn't have to be daunting. In fact, it's actually fairly straightforward if you have all your ducks in a row. So once you've prepared, you've got all your information, the checks take about 24 hours up to a week to come in, and the landlord or the letting agent will notify you once they're in. So after passing, all you have to do is sign the AST and pay your first month's rent, and then you are well on your way to living in your dream property. So we all know how long and laborious referencing can be, and I know, speaking from first-hand experience, that it can be very intense and sometimes just extremely overwhelming. This is why I would suggest going on to Move Bubble. Move Bubble have a really cool thing where you can go online and you can reserve and transact your home within seconds, and you can also get instant referencing with open banking, which has literally just launched. Give it a go, guys. It's a really great way to just get it all done seamlessly and easily, and it makes the process so much nicer. So that's it from me. I hope that you guys have learned plenty about credit checks and referencing, just remember that it's not as daunting as it seems and that as long as you have all the information required, you should be fine. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Otherwise, have a beautiful day and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.